Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Dominic Chavaria. I teach ELA at Tehachapi High School, and this is my presentation for critical thinking for Laverne. I hope you guys enjoy. Today I'm going to be talking with you about author David R. Morrow's approach to the logical fallacy as we see it in The Ad Hominem. This is sourced from his book, Giving Reasons. Later, we'll be talking about the history of fake news, where we'll segue into Benjamin Franklin's history with using that to influence his contemporaries. Later on, we'll be giving you some tools to evaluate and combat fake news through some new approaches. At the end, we'll be giving you an essential question to kind of help you apply this content to your classroom. So let's get into it. The ad hominem, a logical fallacy, literally meaning against the person. In this approach, one will attack their opponent instead of the argument itself. These attacks are typically aimed towards the opponent's flaws or what they're perceived as flaws. And remember, they're not relevant to the argument at hand. If only we could find some examples.
When they put Marco on to refute President Obama's speech, do you remember that catastrophe? And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help.
Tisk tisk.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me, he's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2". Have you seen his hands? They're like this.
And no, totally relevant to politics. Let's talk.
When they put Marco on.
Why does this matter? Well, ad hominems are commonly used in rhetorical devices, as we see in politics, news outlets, and they cast individuals as untrustworthy, unmerited with trustworthiness. And unless you don't have social media or watch the news or have television, these are things that we encounter every day. So whether we like it or not, these influences are not going anywhere. So it's important for us to be able to identify and dissect these flaws from these news outlets and ultimately determine what's true for us and not. Now, referring to Appendix D from Morrow's book, Giving Reasons, this approach is unethical because it uses ethos for a false sense of credibility by discrediting somebody else, the opponent. And if we read further, Morrow explains this. He says that sometimes the audience is relying on the speaker's authority to decide whether to believe crucial premises in his or her argument. In that case, showing that the other speaker is untrustworthy helps prevent the audience from being deceived. If we look at it in further context, ad hominems, they are not relevant premises. For example, Morrow explains this. He says a premise is relevant to a conclusion when the premise provides some reason to think that the conclusion is true, either on its own or in combination with another premise. So if we think about ad hominems, a premise is irrelevant if it provides no reason to think that the conclusion is true or even when combined with other premises. Ad hominems are based on premises that are not relevant to the argument at hand. Therefore, they are fallacies. The size of Trump's hands have nothing to do with his politics. The size of Marco Rubio's stature has nothing to do with his ability to participate in politics. They are fallacies. They are ad hominems. Next, we're going to talk about post-truth. Now, the 2016 word of the year for Oxford was none other than post-truth when we consider what was happening with Brexit in Europe and with the 2016 presidential election